All right, well, it is 10 o'clock. It is time to begin. So, good morning. Welcome to Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Jill Clements. I'm the founding senior minister here at the center, and I'm delighted that you have found us this morning on Facebook Live. We do have a spiritual home community that we meet in, and it's brand new to us right now. We will be resuming our services next Sunday, June the 7th at 8360 East Raintree Drive, Suite 110. That's our new home, and we will be gathering there starting next week, as well as right here on Facebook Live. So you've got options for how you continue to join us in community. And we're just delighted that you are with us today. And I want to acknowledge Joe Hammer, Lori Frisbee, our moderators this morning, and they'll be monitoring those chat windows, and I invite you to comment and talk with each other. Put your gratitude there. We usually share our gratitudes in service, and you can do it in the chat window, and then I look forward to reading your comments after service and seeing who's there and see what's on your mind. So thank you for doing that for me. It's just, I consider it my personal love note, so thank you for doing that. And we practice life-affirming spirituality for successful living. That's what we're about here, is understanding how life works with us and how we can understand and expand our conscious awareness of what life is as it lives, moves, and has its being through us. So we'll be looking at some of that a little bit later in our service this morning. But right now, I want to start the way we always do on Sunday mornings with a reading and then an invocation. So our reading today is from The Science of Mind, written by Ernest Holmes, our founder. And it is on page 503. He says, "Even if our hearts condemn us, we know that the Spirit, which gave the heart, is greater than its gift. God is greater than all human mistakes, and in God alone is there peace and happiness. God is natural goodness and eternal loving kindness. Who is born of love is born of God, for God is love. Without love, nothing can be accomplished. With love, all things are possible. And when we love, our prayers are answered, and the gift of heaven is made. The gift of heaven is life and not death, love and not hate, peace and not confusion. And we enter into this paradise through the gateway of love toward one another and toward God. Love is greater than all else and covers a multitude of mistakes. Love overcomes everything and neutralizes all that is unlike itself. Love is God." Beautiful words from our founder this morning. If you would join me, we'll move into our invocation. Moving into the stillness, into the wholeness of life, we recognize that there is one life, one power, one presence. And this power, this presence, it is God. It is source. It is the all that is. It is life, love, joy, peace, power, prosperity, wisdom, intelligence, and so much more. So much that we cannot in our finite minds even describe, or in most cases begin to grasp that which it is for more than a moment. And so recognizing the infiniteness of life and that all is created of it, I know that I am a creation, a manifestation, an outpicturing of God in form, leading edge of consciousness that we are as life moves through us. And as I know that I am a manifestation and creation of the one, I know that for each of us. I know that we are each whole, perfect, and complete in this manifestation, in this life that we live, that we are sourced of that divine energy, that divine substance, that divine presence. And so from this place, I speak my word for and about each of us, recognizing in this moment that we are whole, perfect, and complete in our expression as spiritual beings, having, as Wayne Dyer said, that human experience. And I speak a word of blessing on our world, on all of the struggle that we see right now, both locally and globally, whether it be from the pandemic that we're facing and the questions there, or whether it is from the racial tensions that we are experiencing and the outpicturing of the anger and violence. We know love. We know love. And we just anchor in that truth in this moment. As we hold all of those who are struggling and in pain in love, with our compassion, with our peace, knowing too the safety of all of those in our beautiful town of Cave Creek and the fires that are there, knowing that they are contained, that the winds are minor, that the humidity rises, and that rains come, and that the fire is contained, and that homes and livestock are saved. And we know and speak a word of blessing on all of those that are impacted by this, whether they're first responders, the people who have homes and animals there, whatever it might be, our beautiful land that is being burned. We just lift it up into our prayer, holding it in love, holding it in peace, and knowing divine right action throughout it all. Throughout it all. I bless all faith traditions this day, knowing that as we gather, as we recognize that there are many, many, many paths to God, there is one God, one life, one love. And we bless all of those paths, all of those ways of reaching that relationship with the divine presence. And so in great gratitude, great joy, great thanksgiving for the manifestation of this prayer, for the love that is expressing through it, I release it into the action of law, the activity of mind, knowing that it is done, it is so. And we affirm together, and so it is. Thank you for joining me for that and for lifting your prayers for all of our world's issues this day. So, I want to make an announcement this morning. Our beloved Lori is going to be taking a summer sabbatical starting tomorrow through the end of August, which is her graduation time. Lori is going to be stepping away from our center and serving it and deepening into her ministerial call, what's next for her as a minister of religious science as she completes and wraps up her classes and moves into the exams and her paneling and all the things that go along with this wonderful time in her life of completion of the schooling aspect of ministry and moving into the service component of it. So we bless her on that time away and hold her in our prayers and in our light and our love, and just knowing that all is revealed in perfect right time for her. And I will be your practitioner through the summer. If you have prayer requests, if you need a session, whatever you might need, pastoral care, please reach out. Let me know. You can reach me through our website, revjill@scottsdalecsl.org, and I will be available to you. So just let me know. And what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? You can post your comments in the chat window there, and I'll look at those a little bit later today, but you can see them amongst yourselves this morning. And I've got a lot of gratitude I want to express this morning, so bear with me. First, as a center, we've been very busy this week. We have been wrapping up our transformation of our suite into our new home. And we've had lots and lots of hands involved in doing that. And I want to say a heartfelt thank you, first off, to all who hold me and this center in your prayers for the perfect right unfoldment through this amazing time, both the excitement and enthusiasm of a new home and all the things that are happening in the world. There's quite a juxtaposition of energy and things happening, and your prayers are welcomed. I feel them and I thank you for them. I also want to say a very big thank you to my husband Ron for all of his handiwork in transforming the bold blue suite into something much more pleasant on the eyes, and all of the wonderful things that he has done to both the suite and to help me and support me through this time. So thank you, Ron. And also a big thank you to Kathy Lozinski, one of our members who is with Quality Floors, who helped us with our floor covering, our beautiful new carpet, and got that all installed for us with a wonderful job. So thank you, Kathy. And our space is now renovated and refreshed and ready to go. And our amazing volunteers came forth on Thursday and Friday, and it's a new home. It is our new home, and we're very excited about it. We've got some things to fill in around and fluff in around the edges, but that will all come as we come together and continue to do that as a community. But I want to say a big thank you to all of those that came, and I'm going to read my list because I don't want to miss anybody. Keith Rohde, Ron Spink, Diane Poole, Charlene Arigale, Beverly Youngstrom, Joe Hammer, William Kohler, Julia Thornson, Lori Frisbee, and Don Hanson. Thank you all. You have my heartfelt gratitude for all that you did on Thursday and Friday in putting everything together. It looks absolutely amazing. And I'm incredibly grateful for your tithe of time, talent, and treasures as you helped fill in for light bulbs and trash cans and paper towels and anything that we needed, and ran out and got those things as we were in need of them on those days. So thank you all so much for that. I also want to say a big thank you to our friends at New Vision Center, Reverend Karen Lewis and Reverend Leslie Goodwin, for their loan of some chairs for our sanctuary. And we can borrow those until we have our fundraising complete and get our order placed. And I just want to say a big heartfelt thank you to them for that contribution to our success moving forward. And also to Ron Owen for coordinating all of that. And of course to Keith, Ron, and Diane for running over and getting them, picking them up and unloading them and bringing them and everything. So thank you all for that. Check out the new homepage on our web page. There's an updated wish list, and the photos are still there. I haven't posted any new photos yet. I'm kind of saving that a little bit, but the wish list has been updated through yesterday, and a lot of things were handled, and there's a lot of things that popped up that we weren't aware of until we got in the space. So check that out if you'd like to support the new home in some way. And I want to also express my gratitude this morning to everyone who has joined us for a Sunday service while we have been out of the facility. I really honor and value your time, and I know your time is valuable, and to take time out and spend it, invest it with us, either on Sunday morning or watching the video later, or maybe you are in the book study or you join us for Wednesday evening for our conversation. However you have participated with us, thank you for that gift of your time and being a part, continuing to be a part of and share in this community with us. Thank you. So, a couple of announcements. Book study will be at the center on Tuesday night, 6 to 7:30, and it's going to be on Zoom. We're going to continue both. We have two members who are out of state, and they are joining us via Zoom, so we're going to continue to offer that service. And for anyone that's not comfortable coming out just yet in community, you can join us on Zoom for that as well. And our book of the month this month is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's by author Susan Jeffers, and it's a wonderful book. It's not real thick. It's pretty skinny, so it'll be a nice fun read for us, but good discussions. And it just felt appropriate for where we are right now and what's happening in life, that we're going to learn some dynamic techniques for turning fear, indecision, and anger into power, action, and love. So look forward to sharing that with you. Your reading guide is up on the website. You can download that. And also that's where you can get the link for the Zoom if you want to join us on Zoom on Tuesday evening, 6 to 7:30. And we have books in our brand new bookstore available for you. So you can pick those up also. And if you're not getting the Saturday morning email that we send out with news and announcements and activities, go to our website, scottsdalecsl.org, and sign up for that, and you will receive all the up-to-date information about what's happening in our community. And we'll probably be sending out some stuff this week regarding how we gather, and that'll be some important information for you. So make sure that you do sign up for that email so you're on that distribution list. Wednesday night, community conversations. We're changing the name one more time as we continue to morph this Wednesday evening expression as our conversations change. And we'll be joining on Zoom only for the Wednesday night from 6 to 7 for just a conversation, a dialogue as we move into our community, as we are experiencing the things we are in the world, as we are coming out of the quarantine, so to speak, whatever is on our hearts, how does science and mind view all of this? How can I deal with this? Whatever might be on your heart, on your mind, join us and connect with me and the others in the community just for an open dialogue and conversation. Everybody's welcome for that. Everybody's welcome for that. And just a reminder, next week we will be live at the new center on Raintree. Our service starts at 10, and we are going to be also broadcasting on Facebook Live. So you can join us on Facebook Live, or you can come to the center, whichever is your preference and comfort level. And we will meet there at 10. And I am going to suspend our pre-service meditation for June, just until we figure out how we will do that in the new center, plus getting everybody in and used to the new center. I think we're going to need that time to be together, and we will look at Brunch Bunch probably starting in July. We're not going to do that this month either, but there's a lot of restaurants around that if you want to go to lunch with each other, you can certainly do so afterwards. So that's what's up with announcements. So thank you for being with us for that. So Desmond Tutu, remember Desmond Tutu? He says, do your little bit of good where you are. It is those little bits of good put all together that overwhelm the world. Now he has a foundation, and the mission statement of his foundation is to help provide tools to create peace within, among, and between people. I love that. I love that. Within, among, and between people. Peace. In our current world of effects, peacemaking is an ongoing daily spiritual practice for us. It's something that we need to connect with and pay attention to on a daily basis, is being the peacemakers with ourselves. Starts there, our inner talk, our self-talk, and also in our families and our communities and globally. How can we be peacemakers in the world today? We are peace. It's our nature, and it's what we're created from. We say God is peace, and we're created from that one substance, so we too are that peace, and we are that love. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the Centers for Spiritual Living, and he's the author of The Science of Mind, which is the text that we teach from. And he says peace is a state of inner calm, an inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. The peace which comes only from the knowledge that God is all. Fathomless peace is meant by the peace of the Spirit. This is the peace which Jesus referred to when he said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." The infinite is always at peace because there is nothing to disturb it. A realization of our oneness with omnipresence brings peace, the peace which is accompanied by a consciousness of power. It's a good definition of peace. And if you've ever truly felt that deep, inner, calm peace, your mind, your body, your soul. It's like a spa day for the soul. You know that feeling of immersion, that feeling, that peace that passes all understanding that is talked about in the Bible. It is that deep, deep peace. And one of the basic ideas of the science of mind is that we live in this orderly and harmonious universe. And harmony can be another way that we can describe peace. If you think about harmony and you think about musically, there's nothing out of order with it, right? There's nothing, it just flows and is smooth and peaceful. And we think about a symphony and harmony and peace. It just has that peaceful feeling to it. Holmes also tells us that the opposite of peace is confusion. Now, if you're feeling a lot of confusion right now, it's not surprising. Most of us are. We have so much going on and so much confusing information coming at us about what's going on. It can be difficult, challenging to find our peace, to find that inner calm within us. So how do we get there in the first place? How do we get there? There's so much anger and frustration and attacking behaviors that we're seeing out in the world right now. We've got the racial tensions that are happening, the protests, the rioting, the looting that's going on even right here in our own city of Scottsdale. We have the conflicting information and data and statistics coming about the virus and where it is and what it's doing and what we need to do and not do. And it can be a very confusing time, a very difficult time to find our center. I know I've talked to several of you who have said that it's hard for me to meditate right now. There's so much energy that we're feeling and picking up on that it can be difficult to find that place and that space of centeredness. But we know what we focus on expands in our lives. And whether that is harmony and joy and love and peace and prosperity, or anger and frustration and resentment and lashing out, it expands in our life. Wherever our focus is where we're going to see expansion in our lives. So it's very important right now in particular that we focus on love, that we focus on peace and peacemaking. The challenge, of course, for peacemakers is to know what we really want, to understand that our focus is peacemaking and not all this other stuff that comes up in our humanness. But that can be hard to do, can't it? Is to stay focused on peace. What do we really want? Is it peace or is it something else? Is it peace or is it revenge? Is it peace or is it for them to change their behavior? Is it peace or is it righteousness? I'm right after all. They're wrong. They need to change, right? And I'm not saying that the behavior of loss of life is in any way justified. It's not. It's wrong. But is our lashing out about it and adding more fuel to that wrong, making it right? Is it changing what happened? No, it's not. Peace is going to help us to change that, to find solutions rather than continuing in the problem. According to Wikipedia, peacemaking is practical conflict transformation focused on establishing equitable power relationships robust enough to forestall future conflict. Yes. Demanding somebody else change their change their ideas, their thinking, change their life is not part of that definition. It's to transform the conflict, alchemizing it, changing that conflict. I can get behind this idea of transformation, transforming win-lose conflict into win-win, into win-win. How can we become peacemakers? Practice loving kindness and build better tomorrows. How can we do that? We said that peacemakers use methods of practical conflict transformation. And it's not by resisting the conflict, and it's not by stopping it, but it is by transforming it. Transforming it. Conflict is a disagreement, argument. And I think there's a distinction between disagreeing and arguing. Disagreeing is where we have a difference of opinion. We disagree about what is. Argument is where I'm going to fight you for my way. Win, lose. And I think that's what we're really talking about in this idea of peacemaking, is the transformation from win, lose, I win, you lose, to win, win. How do we elevate our perspective, our awareness, our consciousness, our activities, our thoughts to how do we create a world that works for all? We do that by being peacemakers for the win-win and the transformation of conflict, for the transformation of conflict. You and I may disagree about face masks, stay at home. We may disagree about what happens when we die, lima beans, or what color of candles I put on the altar. But it doesn't mean we have to argue about it. It doesn't mean we have to fight about it. It means that we can find a solution for it. We can find the third way, as I like to say. I know my little limited way, and you know your little limited way, but Spirit knows a bajillion ways. Let's open it up to the dynamics of the universe to give us that third, fourth, 50, or 5 millionth way of solving something. And this is where practicing loving kindness comes in. I go back to the Bible. Luke 6:31. He says, "Do unto others as you would have done unto you." Now, we all learned this probably in grade school. And it's known as the Golden Rule. It's found throughout all faith traditions. We also know it now today as the law of cause and effect. If I do this, it's going to reflect back to me that way. If I do good in the world, it reflects back to me as good to me. If I do ill in the world, it reflects back to me as ill to me. The law of cause and effect. Do unto others. Kindness is a choice that we each make every day, in every interaction that we have, every moment, with ourselves. It starts there, doesn't it? It starts with ourselves. As soon as we wake up, what are we thinking about? Are we berating ourselves? Are we beating ourselves up? Are we thinking loving kindness towards ourselves, towards our families, towards our fur babies, towards the people that we jump online with or exchange emails with or have conversations with or meet in public? We get out in the world and we begin to bump up against our stuff. I used to say we bump up against each other, but we're really bumping up against ourselves, aren't we? And our stuff. Some of our unhealed stuff, maybe. But yet we want to blame the other person for that and lash out at them rather than going, whoa, something triggered within me, something's tapped within me that I need to look a little more deeply at. And that's where the idea of peacemaking can come from for us. The idea of loving kindness towards ourselves can come for us, and loving kindness towards others. I've had, as you would expect, some opportunities to practice this in the past couple of weeks. And the first time it happened, it was in a work environment. The first time it happened, I was so shocked by the verbal attack that I got angry, was my first go-to emotion. And I recognized pretty quickly that the environment that I was in a meeting with other people, was not the time or place to react with that anger and say things that I might regret in the future. So I got quiet and I withdrew from it, and I didn't deal with it right then. But then, of course, the universe gave it back to me, and it came around one more time, and about a week later. And this time, I was in a much more calm and centered place and was able to simply say, please don't talk to me that way. And the person that was addressing me in that way, she stopped and she backed up. She said, I'm so sorry. She said, I haven't had anything to eat today, and I'm not feeling well. And I said, this can wait. We can talk about this later this afternoon. Go grab some lunch. Go grab some lunch. And it was fine. It was fine. Imagine if I'd have met that anger, that frustration, that tone of voice with the same. That could have gotten ugly. It could have been a very ugly situation, interaction, because our energy would have been feeding off of each other then. And it could have gotten very much out of hand. But because I was able to compassionately, firmly, peacefully say, please don't talk to me that way. It worked out fine. It worked out fine. It was done with kindness. There was no attack and no animosity or anything with it. It was just a boundary that was set with loving kindness. And that's how we can do it. That's how we can do it. If we are to be peacemakers in the world, we must use the tool of loving kindness in all of our relationships. We just have to do that. When we are kind, when we are not angry and attacking in our behavior, we can accomplish so much. And it starts with ourselves. It starts with ourselves, being kind. And then it moves to our loved ones, those closest to us, and to our coworkers, and to strangers, which we know there are none. We are all one. Peacemaking is the art of transforming conflict and establishing those equitable relationships. The relationships have got to have an equality basis to them, or otherwise we're just going to continue to repeat the pattern over and over, which we've seen ourselves doing. We've got to heal it and have equitable power. We're all equal children of God. Is our global as well as our local society that we must be peacemakers in. We're the light bearers. We are the light bearers of loving kindness. And through the choices that we make, we can build those better tomorrows for all of us. We know that the choices that we're making right now, what we are thinking about right now, is outpictured in our lives tomorrow, is reflected back to us as the experiences of our lives. So why would we not choose more loving kindness, more compassion, more peace to be expressed back to us in our lives tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow? If we truly want to see a world that works for all, it starts with loving kindness. It starts with practicing peace. It starts with you and me. So it is. So let's look at our spiritual practices for this week. The first one is, what do you really want? As we said, we really have to get clear on our why, on do I really want peace or do I really want to be right? Do I really want peace or do I really want to be right? And look at the motivations underneath that. Are we trying to make our point? Are we trying to show our intelligence? Are we trying to show our outrage? What is really our desire underneath the desire to be peace? Well, if they change, then there'd be peace on the planet if this would change. Maybe, but we know we can't get there by saying other people have to change, right? So using prayer and journaling and meditation practice this week, reflect on that question. What do I really want? Do I want peace in the world? Do I want peace in my life? It might be helpful to include some of your interactions that you have had, maybe on social media, maybe interactions with people, maybe with family or friends, and really look at what was I trying to accomplish by doing that, saying that, having that interaction. Right now, with all that's going on, our emotions are inflamed, and it's easy to have strong reactions to things, little things, at the grocery store or the the gas station or wherever we might be, where we overreact, whereas maybe a year ago we would have been in a much more calm place, but everything's so sensitive right now. Choosing a response of loving kindness, choosing a response of peace is a choice for us. Listen. In light of everything that's going on, we have to remember to listen to each other. We learn as practitioners that listening is an act of compassion. So many of us don't feel like we're heard. And so when we're not heard when we whisper, we shout. When we're not heard when we shout, we act. When we are not heard when we act bigger. We've got to hear each other, listen to each other. We can no longer stay comfortably tucked away in our old beliefs. We have to open, expand, and listen to each other if we're ever going to have a world that works for all. Number 3 is be a light. Be a light. We are the peacemakers. We're the ones that can midwife this conflict transformation, staying focused on establishing this equitable power. The win-win, not win-lose, transforming win-lose to win-win. And we do this by practicing nonviolence in every area of our own lives. Our thoughts for ourselves, about ourselves, our thoughts about others, our world, our leaders, our actions, our words, our activities. Practicing nonviolence. Practicing nonviolence. And we do this when we practice loving kindness and compassion with all of our fellow human beings. I invite you to look at your hands. Just look at your hands right now. These hands. These are the ones that will allow us to do our little bit of good right where we are. These are the hands that will help provide the tools to create peace within, among, and between people. These hands, the ones attached to your arms and to mine, these hands. It starts with us. We are the ones. We are the peacemakers. I want to close today with a quote from The Science of Mind from Ernest Holmes, who says, "We are poised in a sense of peace, which comes from our complete faith in God as the light, power, and inspiration of our life. There will be no uneasiness or anxiety about any outcome if we know, whether waking or sleeping, that every step of the way, God goes with us." And so it is. Thank you for being with us today. I do appreciate you. And I appreciate you being such an important part of this community, of my life, and all that we do here in teaching the principles of the science of mind. And I want to invite everyone to join us today in our spiritual practice of tithing. That is where we make a contribution, donation to the community in support of it and its mission of teaching these principles in the world via Facebook and in our new facility and classes and other ways that we do it. And we teach these affirmative spiritual principles to create a world that works for all. So if you are an automatic tither, you've got tithe tickets, and guess what? You'll get new ones when we meet again next week, because we didn't get our second quarter, January, March. Yeah, we didn't get our second quarter out, so I'll get new tithe tickets for you. And if you would like to participate in this program, you can go on our website, scottsdalecsl.org, and click on the donate button. And you can sign up to have your donation taken out on an automatic basis. And, if you don't want to handle money and credit cards and things like that during this time, it's a great way to do it is remotely through the online secure portal with PayPal. So I invite you to do that. And if you're someone that usually puts your money in the basket on Sundays, you can mail your check to us or to our post office box. Joe will post that up in the chat window for you, and or you can also use credit cards for your donation online as well. So thank you for that. I invite you to join me for our affirmation this morning. I am an open channel through which prosperity flows. I accept the divine flow of goodness, ideas, and substance through me now. I am grateful for my full and prosperous life. And so it is. Thank you very much for continuing to support this ministry and a world that works for all. Got a couple of reminders for us before we leave. The website for our once a week email, scottsdalecsl.org. Join our mailing list and you'll be getting all the information, plus information about how we're reopening next Sunday. Then on Tuesday night, we've got the book study at the center. And the center address is 8360 East Raintree, number 110. We are in the north building. There's two Suite 110s. One's in the south building, one's in the north. We're in the north building. So just bear that in mind as you come in. And we will be continuing to broadcast on Facebook Live. You can catch us here as well. New home updates on the website. On the web page says our new home. You can check that out. Also, the updated wish list is there. And if you need prayer this week, please reach out through the website. I will be responding to those. If you need live prayer, let me know that. We'll make a time. And if you need a session, office hours will be open again starting on this Wednesday. You need to make an appointment in advance. Just let me know for that. And Wednesday night, we're continuing our community conversations right here on, no, we're doing that on Zoom. And the contact information is on the website for that call. And I hope you'll join us for that. It's been a nice discussion to just get together on Wednesday evening very casually and have a conversation with some like-minded folks. So it's good to see you all there for that. And thank you again for tuning in. Join us next week for our June series, and it is called Mindfulness for Mavericks. Mindfulness for Mavericks. My talk is Just Breathe. Just breathe. And we're going to be looking at mindfulness as it relates to our spiritual mind treatment and how we do those 5 steps and how treatment works. So hope you can join us for that series. It's going to be fun. I look forward to having you with us. And let's close out with our affirmation today. I think Joe's going to post that in the chat window so you can join along. And I live as peace and share my joy. I am empowered by spiritual truth. Today, love guides these hands in divine right action. And so it is. Thank you. Have a blessed week, and I can't wait to see you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.